You won't believe what Ingrid Bergman confessed in her final memoir. She didn't just spill secrets, she revealed the truth behind the legend. Behind those timeless eyes in Casablanca, and the grace she carried on screen for decades, was a woman shaped by heartbreak, scandal, passion, and an unshakable drive to live and love on her own terms. Ingrid Bergman was born on August 29, 1915, in Stockholm, Sweden. Her childhood? Far from glamorous. She lost her mother when she was just 3, and by the time she turned 12, her father, who had sparked her love for images and performance, was gone too. Left orphaned and shy, she was taken in by relatives. But even as a quiet, grief-stricken girl, she found something electric in the theater. That's where she came alive. And come alive she did. Ingrid enrolled in the Royal Dramatic Theatre School in Stockholm, the same place that trained Greta Garbo. Right away, it was clear. She wasn't just another pretty face. She had something raw, something real. It didn't take long before she was lighting up Swedish cinema, and one film in particular changed everything. Intermezzo in 1936. It was so good, Hollywood had to remake it. So in 1939, Ingrid stepped off a boat in America, barely speaking English, to star in the US version of Intermezzo with Leslie Howard. Audiences were stunned. She wasn't like the over-glammed stars of the time. She was soft-spoken, natural, deeply sincere. People felt like they knew her. And just like that, Ingrid Bergman became a star. Then came Casablanca. In 1942, opposite Humphrey Bogart, she played Ilsa Lund and cemented her place in cinema history. That one role, in that smoky bar, with As Time Goes By playing in the background? Iconic. But her magic didn't stop there. In Gaslight, 1944, she won her first Oscar playing a woman manipulated into thinking she's losing her mind. She was vulnerable and fierce, sometimes in the same scene. Then came Alfred Hitchcock's Notorious, where she played a woman caught between love and espionage, opposite Cary Grant. The performances weren't just great, they were groundbreaking. But while Ingrid's career was soaring, her personal life was about to be turned upside down. She had married Dr. Petter Lindström, a Swedish neurosurgeon, and they had a daughter, Pia. On paper, it looked perfect. But fame doesn't play by the rules. While filming in Italy, Ingrid met legendary director Roberto Rossellini. Sparks flew, and not just on set. There was one problem. She was still married. Their affair caused a media storm. When Ingrid gave birth to Rossellini's child, Isabella, in 1952, the backlash was brutal. America practically disowned her. But Ingrid didn't apologize. She followed her heart, divorced Petter, and married Rossellini. They had 2 more children, but their marriage, full of creative highs and cultural clashes, eventually crumbled. In 1957, they divorced. A year later, Ingrid found love again with Swedish theater producer Lars Schmidt. This time, things were quieter, stable. They were together for nearly 20 years. But Ingrid wasn't done surprising people. When she talked about Gregory Peck in her memoir, it wasn't just admiration, it was something deeper. He was massive, she wrote. And no, she wasn't just talking about his height or those movie star shoulders. She meant his presence, his soul, his sense of right and wrong. He was the kind of man, she said, who could make you feel completely seen with just a look. Ingrid had worked with the greats, Bogart, Grant, but Peck left a mark. You couldn't lie to him, she said. His eyes saw through you. There was tension between them, yes, but it wasn't lust. It was reverence, a quiet chemistry that never needed to be named. And even though they were never romantically involved, you could tell this was someone who changed her. But even icons get sick. During a run of The Constant Wife in London in the early 70s, Ingrid found a lump in her breast. She didn't hesitate. She had it removed in secret and kept working. But cancer doesn't go away so easily. Years later, while filming Autumn Sonata with director Ingmar Bergman, no relation, the disease came back. She pushed through another surgery and still gave one of the most powerful performances of her life. She kept working, even as her body was failing. She played Golda Meir in A Woman Called Golda in 1981. By then, she was frail. Her face had changed. But her strength? undiminished. That role won her a posthumous Emmy. Eventually, she retired quietly to her London apartment. The paparazzi waited outside. But she didn't want to be seen like that. The disease had spread to her spine, her lungs. She was in pain, but never gave up her dignity. Ingrid Bergman passed away just after midnight on her 67th birthday, August 29, 1982. Her ex-husband Lars Schmidt was by her side, along with a few close loved ones. That night, they raised a final toast in her honor. On her bedside table, a copy of The Little Prince, a book about love, loss, and seeing with the heart. At her memorial service, 1,200 people gathered. Friends, family, legends of stage and screen. Music from her films filled the church. Lines from Shakespeare rang out. And when As Time Goes By played, you could feel it. Her spirit lingering. Her grandson Justin remembered the chaos that day, the press, the grief, but also the clarity. She wasn't just my grandmother anymore, he said. She belonged to the world. And it's true. Ingrid Bergman wasn't just a movie star. She was an artist who lived bravely, loved deeply, and left behind something more lasting than fame: truth. If this story moved you, even a little, hit that like button, drop a comment, or share it with someone who loves classic film. And if you want more stories like this, make sure to subscribe. There's so much more behind the silver screen.